الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والحمد لله الذي جعلنا من المتمسكين بولاية أمير المؤمنين والأئمة المعصومين عليهم السلام والحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين خاتم النبيين شفيع المذنبين حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد ما صل على محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من يوم عداوتهم إلى يوم الدين أما بعد فقد قال الله عز وجل في كتابه الحكيم وهو أصدق القائلين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كونوا قوامين بالقسط شهداء لله ولو على أنفسكم آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد أما بعد السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. I begin in the name of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. There is no doubt that it's due to His kindness and generosity that He gives us opportunities such as these where we gather in remembrance and in glorification of Him Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Next we send our heartfelt condolences to our 12th and living Imam, Imam Al-Hujjah, Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And to each and every one of you, as we gather this evening in commemoration of the Istishhad anniversary of our first Imam, the commander of the faithful, Ali ibn Abi Talib, alayhima afdalu salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we are fortunate to go for the ziyarat of our Imam in this world, inshaAllah, and that we receive his shafa'at in akhirah. Yesterday we began the discussion, or a particular discussion, and it's stemming from one of the lines that we recite in Dua Iftitah. One of the lines that we recite in this dua, this very beautiful dua taught to us by our living Imam alayhi salam, is that Allahumma inna narghabu ilayka fi dawlatin karima. That Ya Allah, indeed we are desiring from you. We have extreme desire to have from you, narghabu ilayka dawlatan karima, a dawla, a state which is honored, an honored state. Yeah? And we said that when we ask for an honored state, a dawla which is karima, the honored state is defined by not what human beings honor it with, or what human beings perceive it to be, but a state is honored when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honors that state. Yeah? And that state is only honored by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when certain conditions are met. For example, the sunnah of the Prophet is followed. Yeah? The seerah of the Prophet is exemplified. The tenets of Islam are being emphasized and being carried out by the people of that state. And furthermore, one of the most important aspects of a state to be honored by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that there should be justice amongst the people in that state. There must be justice within the leadership of that state and how they give that justice or carry out that justice amongst the people of that state. And we said that in the history of Islam, there's only been 2 occasions when there has been an honored state. Yeah? This dawlatan karima. There has only been 2 occasions when this dawla of ours, this state of ours has been honored. One was during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And the second time was during the Khilafah of the first Imam, Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now listen, I know you guys are tired, yeah? But you have to at least look at me when I'm talking to you, please, yeah? Otherwise, it's very difficult for me to speak to you if everyone's looking down, yeah? It's not a boring lecture, yeah? So please, if you can look at me, it will help me a lot, inshallah. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. So we said that it was only during these two times when there has been an honored state. And when we look at the second instance in particular, we find that when Imam alayhi salam tried to bring back that honored state that was established by Rasulullah, there had been a period of 25 years when the people had not tasted what an honored state feels like or tastes like. And when he brought back the honored state, people rebelled against the Imam alayhi salam. Yeah, the people could not handle the justice of the Imam alayhi salam, when in fact it had only been 25 years since similar justice had been doled out. However, because injustice had become rampant, people's taste buds were more inclined towards the injustice than the justice, and they could not handle the justice. The point of this discussion is that we today are asking for a similar honored state. In 25 years, the Muslims could not handle the honored state. What makes us think we can handle the honored state after 1,350 years of not tasting it? Yeah? This is something to reflect about. This is something to think about. And therefore, in the series lectures that we are having, we're talking about different examples or reforms that were brought by Imam Ali alayhi salam in his dawla, in that state. And the first one that we discussed yesterday was the as-siyasatul idariya, the administrative reforms or the administrative policies that he reformed. In other words, as the leader of that administration, he brought about justice and equality amongst every creation and every participant in his dawla, and he did not differentiate between those who are his family members or those who are from his qabila and his tribe or those who were elite and wealthy. To him, every single member of that dawla was one, and if the one was doing something unjust, he would not be shy about implementing justice on that. And we took lessons from that yesterday, and inshallah it has been understood. The second reform that we will discuss today is the reform in the cultural policies of the Imam. And this is what is known as as-siyasatul thaqafiyya. Yeah? Now when we talk about cultural policies, right away our mind goes to our own culture. Yeah, like what cultural policies did he continue, like our Khoja culture or our Iraqi culture or our Pakistani culture? That's not the culture here in reference to, it's thiqafa. Thiqafa is generally understood as the intellectual culture of a society, right? So in today's day and age, arts and poetry and these type of things will be part of the thiqafa of a culture. Yeah, of a society. They're intellectual, cultural. You understand what I mean by that? Yeah. So it's not necessarily the languages that we're speaking, that's what we're referring to. It's rather an intellectual. In today's day and age, it's referred to as arts and drama, and these type of things are considered to be the thiqafa of a community. The museums that we have and the history that we have in those museums, these are part of our culture. You see the Imam alayhi salam make a significant effort to reform the cultural policies of the society. In other words, to reform the intellectual capacity of the individuals within that society. Yeah? And in particular, where we're going to concentrate on is the development and encouragement of education that the Imam alayhi salam brought back to the society. Right? In 25 years, from the time when the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him and his family, left this world, and in 25 years when Imam Ali alayhi salam was given the Khilafah, it's not that there was not an emphasis in education. Rather, the emphasis had moved away from education. So it's not that education is not talked about or education wasn't emphasized. No, that's not the case. It's that other things began to gain importance over education. And this generally happens in a society when the society has tasted a little bit of knowledge. They feel they have enough knowledge now that they don't need to pursue more knowledge. And so they begin to concentrate on other things. You know, for example, you have children, and today they are grown adults who the only formal religious education they've ever had is the madrasa. Yeah? And the madrasa serves an important function for this fact. This fact alone is that for majority of the Muslims, madrasa is the only education they have, Islamic education. That's why we need to take it seriously, right? But you find that many people who have become older, the only education they've had is their madrasa education, and to them that was sufficient for them. That there was no need to go and pursue further knowledge, and therefore they don't take other knowledge as seriously, right? They'll come to the mosque, for example, they'll come to lectures like this, and I'm speaking as honest as I can as the Imam of this mosque, as the religious guide of this mosque. This is what I've seen, not just here, everywhere, is that we come to this mosque, and the fact that we can't retain what we heard after the lecture immediately shows us the level of interest we have in that lecture. Yes? Is that we are satisfied with that little bit of knowledge that we have, and then we don't really care about pursuing much more knowledge. When you look at what happened at the time of Imam Ali alayhi salam, it's no different. Yeah? It's amazing how we keep spinning the same wheel over and over again. The Prophet taught them knowledge. That knowledge was necessary because they were being taught something new. They needed that knowledge to survive and to be good practicing Muslims. When that little knowledge had come to them, they now felt that they have had enough knowledge. Yeah? And now they began to pursue other things. Like what? Like their businesses. Yeah? Like the expansion of the Muslim Ummah, for example. Like to strengthen and make large the Baytul Mal, yeah, by conquering other lands and by taking the booty of other during wars and things like this. The shift and the paradigm shifted entirely from what the focus should have been, which is religious knowledge, the increase in religious knowledge, right? And this is why we find some very fascinating traditions. For example, Amirul Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, Ma salli ala Muhammad Ali Muhammad. He says, Inna nasa ila salihil adab ahwaju minhum ila al-fiddati wal-dhahab. He says that mankind is more in need of good manners than they are of gold and silver. Yeah? And you're not in need of money as much as you are of good manners. You know, if somebody, and this can be looked at into so many different angles, from a very simplistic perspective, you know, if a person doesn't have much but has good akhlaq, that person will remain longer in your hearts than one who has much but has no akhlaq. Yeah? And here is just one example of how good adab, and good adab is learned how? Through practice, yeah? Through education, through learning the morality and the virtues of that of the adab itself, of the ethics itself. So the Imam alayhi salam was bringing back this shift, yeah, to reform the educational standards of the people, to reform how they cared about education and how they perceived education. And so you find that the Imam alayhi salam began to again have morning sessions. For example, our fifth Imam, Imam Muhammad al-Baqir alayhi salam, Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. He says, Kana Aliyun alayhi salam idha salla al-fajr. That Imam Ali alayhi salam, after he recited Salatul Fajr, Lam yazal mu'aqqiban illa an tatla'u shams. He says that he would continue to recite his taqibat, his du'as, until the sun began to rise. Yeah? So he would first focus on his ibadat. And then Imam alayhi salam says, فَإِذَا تَلَعَهُ اجتمع إليه الفقراء والمساكين وغيرهم من الناس فيعلمهم الفقه والقرآن. Yeah? That after the sun rose, the Imam would gather all the fuqara, all the masakeen, all the poor, all the indigent, all those who are the lower echelons of society. He would gather all of them together and he would teach them fiqh and Quran. Yeah? This is the Khalifa of the time. Yeah? This is the governor of the time, the leader of the time. Yet he would focus on teaching people simple things. Yeah? Like how to do wudu properly. Like how to recite salah properly. Like how, for example, to conduct yourself in business transactions when you go out. All of these things, the Imam alayhi salam was bringing a change into the people to have them reflect and ponder about the importance of education. Now when we think about this, right? That he was particularly targeting those who were the lower echelons of society, what we would call the abased of society. I think that if we were to take a step back and reflect about that, there are some important lessons for us to take and how we need to reform ourselves for our Imam when he comes. The first is that there is no excuse in not pursuing education. Yeah? No excuse. If the poor were being told to go and seek education, وَغَيْرِهِمْ, the Imam says as well, and others like them. That means it doesn't matter if you are old or young, rich or poor, educated or uneducated. The importance of seeking further Islamic education is an obligation upon every single Muslim in here today. Yeah, every single Muslim. And I think it's sad. It's sad that we don't think that further education is necessary for our lives, right? And again, it makes no sense because in our secular lives, we will pursue every type of additional knowledge. Yes, every type of additional knowledge. We have doctors sitting here, we have engineers sitting here, we have pharmacists sitting here. If there is a mandatory 2-hour session for you to continue your license, will you not attend that session? Yeah, of course you will attend that session, right? But in Islam, we're giving classes. There's books that to be read. There are information to be gained. Yet we don't have that same level of emphasis and focus on our deen. Yeah, it shows us, my brothers and sisters, we claim to be wanting the Imam to come. The Imam wants this from a society. How do we know that? Because his grandfather, who was the leader of society, wanted this from a society. He wanted that society to focus on religious education, right? And if we are not focusing on religious education, we are not ready for the Imam yet. I'm not trying to be a downer. It's a reality. It's a reality that we wonder why Hamara Imam nahi aata, why isn't our Imam coming? This is why he's not coming. Yeah? Because we've been given a blueprint of what is expected from the ummah. Yeah? And that blueprint was given at the time of Imam Ali alayhi salam, but till today we seem not to be focusing on that, or we have selective groups focusing on different things rather than the entire ummah focusing on all of them together. So here the Imam alayhi salam talks about the importance of gaining this knowledge and going to seek knowledge irregardless of your social background, economic background, if your age. It doesn't matter, right? There is an importance of seeking knowledge. And not just that. Let's take it a step further. The Imam alayhi salam issued incentives for the people to go gain knowledge. Yeah? Now check this out. This is beautiful. Yeah, the Imam alayhi salam, there's a log jam here. If we can please, if we can just move up with 3 loud salawats ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And if the people in the gym can come over here too, please. There's now room in the back. Yeah? Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And so you see the Imam alayhi salam. Okay, now this is, again, we need to take lessons from this. This is the entire purpose of these 4 discussions or 4 lectures we're having. To understand the governance of the Imam. The Imam not only encouraged education, the Imam alayhi salam offered incentive for people to get education. Yeah, there's a tradition that we get. A person by the name of Salim bin Abil Ja'ad قال فرض علي عليه السلام, that Ali alayhi salam allocated and guaranteed, yeah, liman qara al-Quran alfain, yeah, that whoever went to learn the Quran and whoever could read the Quran well enough, right, Imam alayhi salam guaranteed them 2,000 dinar. Yeah, 2,000 dinar. Now that's at that time. Yeah, the Imam alayhi salam paid people to gain knowledge. Oh, think about that. Yeah. Think about that. Yeah, think about that. He paid people to go gain knowledge. Right? Today, people pay to get knowledge. Yeah, we pay universities to get knowledge. Yeah, the madrasa children pay to come to madrasa. Right? When we have classes here, we charge the people $10 to come charge. Yeah, thinking that they'll take it seriously. What if you pay them? They'll take that seriously, won't they? Yeah, that's what the Imam did. Think about that. Think about what the Imam viewed as important. Yeah, and what we view as important, how we do it, right? Today, I don't understand this, and I understand from the financial perspective. Maybe that's why I don't understand it, because I don't look at it from the financial perspective. We have tremendous books out there. Yeah, books are being printed. What's the point of charging for books? Yeah, we have the money. Yeah, we have the money. Why not give it to whoever wants it? People will say, well, if you just give it, and they don't pay for it, they won't read it. Well, don't give it to someone who doesn't ask for it. Yeah? But if someone's asking for it, why charge for it? Yeah? I'm not making these things up. The Imam instituted this in his own government. Yeah? People who wanted to go gain knowledge, the Imam says, here, I'm giving you money to go gain knowledge. Yeah? Learn it. Right? Learn it for the sake of your akhirah. That's what the Imam was concerned about here. Yeah, this is a revolutionary idea, right? And I'm not asking for implementation. I'm just asking to make us realize, or mentioning to make us realize, what the Imam valued as important. Yeah, the reform in the way we view education was vital to the government of the Imam alayhi salam, and he wanted us to realize that. Yeah, and it will be vital for when our living Imam al-Hujjah ajalallahu ta'ala farajahu sharif comes back. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. What Imam alayhi salam is showing us, yeah, that there is no monetary equivalent to religious knowledge. There is none. There is none. Yeah, we had given this example, I think, a few months back, right? We come to an unfortunate stage where we equate dollar figures to lectures. Yeah, that this guy, can you believe he's charging $1,000? Right? This guy, he's charging $250. We bracket our ulama in this way now. Yeah, he's the lower rung charging alim. Yeah, he's the higher rung. We're put a dollar amount to religious knowledge, right? When there is no dollar amount that can be put to religious knowledge, right? Does that mean that an alim or a scholar or a khatib has a right to charge? I don't believe so. Yeah, I don't believe one can go and charge an amount. Yeah, but from the other end, one can never say we paid them too much either. Yeah? You can't. Yeah, you can't. One tear that falls because somebody made you cry is worth more than everything this earth has to offer an individual. Yeah, everything. Yeah, you can't even think twice about that. Yeah, to say that this is too much. No, there is no equivalent monetary amount for knowledge, Islamic knowledge. Right? Now there is an akhlaq in asking, and that could be something, a whole different discussion. But the point here is, this is what the Imam alayhi salam was trying to show us. Right? That you can't assign a dollar figure. So what if I give 2,000 to somebody who just learns the Quran? Imagine, right? Imagine. Today we'll bargain with Quran teachers. You charge $15, too much, $15 an hour. Yeah, we're bargaining in that way with Quran teachers, right? We're bargaining in how we support people. We should be sponsoring kids to go to the hawza to learn, sponsoring them. Yeah, Full-on sponsor. You know how many kids I know who can't go to the hawza because they can't afford to go to the hawza. It's not cheap, right? Especially if you have to live on your own and you have to provide your own meals and you have to pay for all of these things. It's not cheap, right? And some people's dreams are deterred because they can't afford it. But the Imam alayhi salam was emphasizing this new idea. It's surprising. It's not even new. It's 1350 years old. Yeah? But it's new to us today to think that that's how he emphasized this. Besides, so far we've seen him do two things. He's encouraged knowledge. He's given incentive for knowledge. The third thing that the Imam alayhi salam did is that he encouraged religious knowledge alongside any other form of knowledge. Right? So let's give an example. Here we get an example of a person by the name of Ghalib bin Sa'sa. Ghalib bin Sa'sa, you know who Ghalib bin Sa'sa is? Ghalib bin Sa'sa was the father of Farazdak. Yeah? You know Farazdak. Yeah? Farazdak was that poet who recited that beautiful poetry about the fourth Imam alayhi salam that got him arrested. And he said that about the Kaaba. Just Google Farazdak and there's a very beautiful poem that he has written about the Imam. Farazdak ended up being a major poet of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. The father of Farazdak is Ghalib bin Sa'sa. Ghalib bin Sa'sa came to meet Imam Ali alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So he meets the Imam and then the Imam alayhi salam says, Man hadha ya Ghalib? Yeah? That who is this? Who is this young man? Man hadha al-ghulam ma'ak? Taqala ibni wa huwa sha'irun. His father says, yeah, that he's my son and he's a poet. Yeah? Some people just have the skill. Yeah? Like you see many of our young brothers and sisters today who have the skill of spoken word poetry. It's a talent. Yeah? It's a beautiful skill. Likewise, Farazdak had this skill. For the Imam alayhi salam replies back and he says, Alimhu al-Quran fahuwa khayrun min ash-shi'r. Yeah? The Imam says, teach him Quran, for it is better than poetry. Yeah? Now he didn't say he shouldn't be a poet, he should learn the Quran. Yeah? That's not the kind of Islamic education the Imam was focusing on, right? Because Farazdak still became one of the best poets Islam has ever seen. But his poetry, maybe after this day, Allahu A'lam, went above and beyond what was expected because he followed the Imam's advice and learnt the Quran alongside with it. Right? We send our children for amazing degrees. Yes, engineering and doctors and pharmacies and think of what not. Our children are living up our dreams, alhamdulillah. The Imam is saying that the Quran and Islamic knowledge needs to be on par with that. Yeah? We don't need everyone to be an alim, right? But it doesn't mean that anyone is excused from not gaining correct Islamic knowledge, right? The same way that we focus our children on them gaining all of these other activities and education, we have to emphasize in that same way, right, the Islamic knowledge. And this is not excused for anybody, right? This is a requirement for every human being, and this is again something that the Imam alayhi salam focused on. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Ma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Of course, on top of all of this, right, what the Imam alayhi salam also emphasized on is the need to make sure that you are seeking religious knowledge with the right intentions. Okay? That, yes, religious knowledge is probably the most fun knowledge anyone can have. Right? And we see that in our society where everybody is willing to give a fatwa. Yeah, not everybody plays around like that with health or car mechanic. If I just said no, it's the oil, it's the starter. You'd be like, what are you talking about, right? But we'll do that. No, wajib. Yeah? We'll do that with religion, and that shows us that religion is actually fun for everybody to know a little bit about it. And the Imam alayhi salam, what he was doing was so again, we have to stay with this, right? It's very beautiful. And it's not only beautiful because I'm saying it, yeah? It's beautiful because the way the Imam has done this, it's magical when you reflect about what he's done. So he emphasized and encouraged education. Then he gave incentive for education. And he said that at the same time, while you're gaining Islamic education, don't stop yourself from other forms of education. But don't ever think that Islamic education is not as important, but it is more important than everything else. Right? Imagine if we send our children for all their degrees with that understanding, that no matter what you're going to get, Islamic education is even more important than that. Because Islamic education takes you to akhirah, yeah? While this one will only take you here. It only take you here, right? On top of that, the Imam alayhi salam emphasized the importance of having pure intention in gaining religious knowledge. It is said once a man asked him, لِسَائِلٍ سَأَلَهُ عَنْ مُعْضِلَةٍ. Once a man asked the Imam alayhi salam a question, but the mu'adila, they say it's like a difficult question. Obviously it wasn't a difficult question. I don't think that's the right translation. He asked a question which was a type of question that maybe served no benefit. You know, I don't know if you've ever been encountered with that. Like, people will always ask me, you know, Sheikh, are these people going to Jannah? These are one of those questions which have no value and no point at all. Yeah? What's the point of spending time thinking whether Fulan and Fulan is going to Jannah while we're not concentrating if I'm going to Jannah? Right? So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who else goes to Jannah. Worry about your Jannah, then when you get there, find out who else got in. Right? These are one of those questions that doesn't matter. In the long run, it doesn't matter. So this man asked this type of question. He asked a question where it didn't matter. The Imam alayhi salam says, and I'll just read the English. He says, ask me for understanding, but do not ask me just to find fault in things or to bring confusion in society. Yeah? Ask me to gain knowledge. Don't ask me just to stump somebody. Yeah? You can't stump the Imam, but this is what he's saying, right? That don't just ask me to bring about confusion, because this is very beautiful. He says, because the ignorant person who tries to learn is just like the learned man. Yeah? The ignorant person who tries to learn is just like the learned man, but the learned man who tries to create confusion is just like the ignorant man. Yeah? Subhanallah. Yeah? This is the Amirul Kalam. Subhanallah. Yeah? He says again, I'll read it, I'll say it again. An ignorant man who tries to learn genuinely is just like an intellectual man. Yeah? But an intellectual man or a learned man who just tries to cause confusion is just like the ignorant man. There's no difference between them. And this is the problem with religious knowledge. So as we're talking about reforming, we have to be careful that religious knowledge is highly intoxicating. It's highly, highly intoxicating, right? There's no knowledge like it, because you feel like you have a mastery over something. This is why you find anybody who has spent 6 months or a year in the hawza feel like they are a mujtahid. Yeah? They feel like they are a mujtahid. Majority of the fasad that has been caused, or that continues to be caused, is by these people who have just had a taste of the hawza. Then they come back and they think they're all that, and they begin to just issue fatwa. Wallah, right? And the reason why is because when you don't have anything and you're given something, you feel like you've been given everything. Yeah? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah? If you haven't eaten for 10 days and I give you stale crackers, you'll be like, wow, stale crackers. Yeah? When you don't realize that there's far more than stale crackers available, but I'm just seeing how you like stale crackers. Right? Same thing applies with a little bit of knowledge. You give a little bit of knowledge, you think you've been given a lot of knowledge because you've never had knowledge before, and you think you're all that now. Imagine if that view and if that mentality is not rectified. Imagine the fasad that person will cause when they have a lot of knowledge. Think about that. Think about that, yeah? Think about that. So here the Imam alayhi salam is emphasizing these things, and I repeat them because I think that as a society we need to look into these things, and it can't be done just by the resident alim. It requires the members of the society to come together and create a governance or a society the kind that Imam Ali alayhi salam had reformed and tried to bring into play. So again, he encouraged religious education for all spheres of society, right? Not old, not young, doesn't matter. Everyone should learn and be continuing to improve themselves. He encouraged religious education by financially supporting people. Imagine. Just imagine. I don't know. I mean, there are people in our society who are struggling to survive. They are. It's a fact. Yeah. Imagine if we gave them an incentive and said, you attend a 10-week course on Islamic education, we'll pay you $100. Yeah? We'll pay you this much. Imagine what we would cause. We would cause a storm. Yeah. But think about it for a second. How true and how doable it is. How doable it is, right? Imam alayhi salam furthermore encouraged religious education alongside other professions, and he made sure that one who pursued it had true intentions behind their pursuit of that knowledge. Why all of this emphasis on true education or on seeking Islamic education? Because the only way for one to recognize the truth is through Islamic education. Yeah? That's the only way. The only way we want to recognize haqq, yeah? Pure haqq. And haqq here is not my haqq, not man's haqq, God's haqq. Yeah? If we know God's haqq, yeah? God's rights, God's truth, right? That can only come to an individual who has insight into religious knowledge in various degrees. We're not asking everyone. He wasn't asking everyone to be a mujtahid, but he was saying everyone should be in themselves self-sufficient a little bit, right? Where they know that, okay, in my day-to-day life, like for example, these books that we have, like the Tawdihul Masail, or the Islamic laws book of our Maraja, you read them. What do they say? That every believer, yeah, should know for themselves what they go through on a day-to-day basis. Yeah? So the chapters of Salah should be known by everybody. Nobody here should be confused, yeah, about how to join Salatul Jamaat and how to do. Because as a mukallif, yeah, you should know all of these things, right? You go through these on a day-to-day basis. This is what our marja tell us, right? This is what the Imam alayhi salam was trying to bring about. That the only way one can recognize haqq, yeah, is through the gaining of Islamic knowledge. Today we go after haqq, but we go after haqq incorrectly, right? We go after haqq based on personalities, yeah, rather than true haqq. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah? What I'm saying is, instead of finding haqq, I find people who I think have haqq, and then I begin to follow them. Yeah? And this is why in our society you see such division in our society. Yeah? Because I think I found haqq, and you think you found haqq, and you think you found haqq. And now here we have 5 different haqqs, when in reality there can only be one haqq. There can only be one haqq. Yeah? There can only be one truth. There cannot be multiple truths. Right? And the reason why is because we have attached haqq to truth. Amirul Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. He was asked during his khilafah about Talha and Zubair. Yeah? You know Talha and Zubair. They fought the Imam alayhi salam in the battle of Jamal, ahsantum, yeah? You find that these people were close companions of the Prophet, yeah? Close companions of the Prophet. But they fought, and because they were such close companions of the Prophet, when the two sides stood up against one another, the people were confused, genuinely confused, yeah? Because they didn't realize, they're like, what's happening here? Right? What's happening here? And the reason why is because they had attributed personalities as haqq rather than finding haqq. You see the problem? Yeah? Are you catching what I'm trying to say? Yeah? This is why you have wars and of ideology within our Shia madhab, right? Because we have attached ourselves to certain marjas, right? And now the people of those marjas are fighting with one another. Why? Because they think that marja is haqq. Yeah? When if you would go and ask that marja, they would not say that they are haqq. They are saying there is haqq and they are following that haqq. Yeah? They are not that haqq. You understand? Yeah? Are you guys with me or no? Yes? So here the Imam alayhi salam was asked about Talha and Zubair. They're like, why is there such, what should we do? The Imam alayhi salam says, you have not understood it properly. Yeah? The Imam says you have not understood it properly. Inna deen Allah la yu'rafu bir rijal bal bi ayatil haqq. Yeah? He says the religion of God is not recognized through men. It is recognized through the signs of truth. Yeah? He continues, he says, فَعْرِفِ الْحَقِّ تَعْرِفْ أَهْلَهُ. Yeah? He says, know the truth, you will know which men to follow after that. Yeah? Know the truth first. Yeah? Know the truth first. You know the truth first, you will find the right people to follow after that. And this is what the Imam ﷺ was teaching us, that you will gain that truth through Islamic knowledge. My brothers and sisters, when our Imam comes, when our Imam comes, the Imam ﷺ, we will not recognize the Imam because he has the truth. Yeah? We need to have the truth to be able to recognize the Imam. Yeah? You all with me with that? Yeah? That was beautiful. Yeah? That was something that we need to focus on. Yeah? It's not that we will say the Imam and yeah, this is Haqq. Yeah? No, if we see the Imam and if we have not accepted Haqq already, we will not be able to accept the Imam. Because we will find it foreign, we will find it strange what he's trying to tell us to do. But if we have Haqq, if we have Haqq, then we will easily recognize the Imam. Yeah? When you have Haqq, you know who to follow. When you have Haqq, you have that guidance. And when you think about the situation of the Ummah, the people turned their backs from Ali ibn Abi Talib. Yeah? The people till today turn their backs from Ali ibn Abi Talib. The people till today despise Ali ibn Abi Talib. Yeah? It's amazing. We gave this example, many years ago, is that when we were in Sham, if you remember the layout of Sham, I don't know how many of you have been to Sham, may we all get an opportunity to go for Sham, inshallah. That in one of the streets where the Maktab of Sayyid Sistani and a lot of our different Maraja were, there was a mosque called Jami'atu Umar ibn Khattab. Yeah? And in that mosque, you found the general population of Sunnis will go to that mosque. And again, in Sham at that time, there was no fighting between Sunnis and Shias. If you know Sayyidah Zainab, majority of Sayyidah Zainab alayhi salam was Sunni dominated. The Shia Zawar would come, they would get along, and that's it. They would go home. Once during the wiladat of Imam Ali alayhi salam, there was candy being passed outside. The Salat of Maghrib ended for our brothers. They came outside, they picked up the candy, they said, Shunu hai munasaba? What is this munasaba? They said, this is wiladat Amir al-Mu'mineen. They threw it back and they said, we don't want this candy. Yeah? Yani, this is their fourth caliph. Yeah? But yet they had bughd of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Yeah? Why? Because they didn't recognize Haqq. Yeah? Wallahi, if they recognize Haqq, they would recognize Ali ibn Abi Talib, because Ali ibn Abi Talib shines brighter than the sun. Yeah? This is Ali. Yeah? And yet you find that Ali on that night of 19th of Ramadan went to that mosque of Kufa, began to recite his salah in that mosque of Kufa. And the worst of the worst creations came from behind him and struck him on the head with the sword. Hassan and Hussein began to accompany their father. The brothers and the companions came and they began to carry the janazah of Imam alayhi salam, the body of the Imam alayhi salam, back towards his home. We can only imagine the scene here, my brothers and sisters. Reflect with your heart, reflect with your mind that Ali, this bravest warrior, is now laying on a stretcher type instrument and is being carried back to his home bloodied. He said on the way back to his home, eventually as they began to approach the house, khutbah say that Ali told Imam al-Hassan, Ya Hassan, put me down. Oh Hassan, put me down. He said, Aya Abata, you are in no condition to walk home. He says, by God, I saw Zainab in the door of my house. I have seen my daughter Zainab, and I don't want Zainab to see her father in this condition. For Zainab has a lot more to see after this day. For Zainab alayhi salam has much more to experience after this day. Imam alayhi salam came to his home. It is said Ibn Muljim was captured, the La'een, and brought to the house of Imam. Imam Ali looks at his son Imam al-Hassan alayhi salam. He says, Ya bunayya, nahnu ahlu bayt, la nazdadu ala dhambin ilayna illa karaman wa afwa. He says, oh my son Hassan, know that we are the Ahlul Bayt, and if someone harms us, we do not return it back with vengeance and more harm. Oh Hassan, if I am to die from this wound, then you must inflict a similar wound on him. He struck me once, I want you to strike him only once. Look at the adalat of Ali ibn Abi Talib. That till that last moment the adalat of Ali ibn Abi Talib reigned supreme. And then it is reported Zainab alayha salam brought a glass of milk for the Imam. The Imam alayhi salam took a sip from the glass of milk, and then he looked at Ibn Muljim. Ibn Muljim, in that state of trying to escape and run away, was thirsty and out of breath. Imam alayhi salam told Hassan, oh Hassan, give him the rest of this glass of milk. Subhanallah, Subhanallah, what a role model Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam is. He gave him the rest of the glass of milk. He says to his son Hassan, oh Hassan, you must feed him from what we eat, and you must give him drink from what we drink. Muhammad bin Hanafiya reports that by the next day, the poison had spread throughout the body of my father Ali. One by one, Ali alayhi salam allowed the Shia of Kufa to come to his home so that he can give them advice. He continued to say, I advise you to fear Allah and remind yourself of the day of judgment. Be an enemy of the oppressor and be a helper of the oppressed. Fear matters, fear Allah in matters to do with the orphans. The Imam alayhi salam continued to give advice, and then he would say to them, Ayyuhan nas, اسألوني قبل أن تفتدوني وخففوا سؤالكم لمصيبتي أمامكم. He says, ask me now before I leave this world if there are any questions that you may have. Hujr ibn Adi, the close companion of the Imam, came next to the Imam. The Imam had an affinity for Hujr. The Imam alayhi salam looks at Hujr by his side. He says, Ya Hujr, can it ever be that you will leave my wilaya and leave my love? Hujr replies back, Wallahi ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, law qata'tu bis-sayfi irban irba. He says, oh Imam, if they were to cut me piece by piece, I would not leave your wilaya. The Imam alayhi salam says, oh Hujr, indeed this is the musibah that you will face. And then the Imam says to his son, oh Hassan, I am now tired, oh Hassan. I am now tired. Tell the people of Kufa to go back to their homes and tell them to allow me to remain with my family. The Imam alayhi salam goes out. He tells the people of Kufa, my father is tired. My father is tired and he needs his rest. Please go. It is said the people began to go away and go towards their homes. Imam Hassan went back into his house. From inside the house, he heard the crying of someone outside his door. He heard the crying of a man coming outside from his door. Imam alayhi salam comes back and he says that he sees that it is Asbagh bin Nabata, one of the closest companions of Imam alayhi salam. Imam says, Ya Asbagh, my father is tired. My father is tired, allow him to rest. Asbagh replies back, he says, my legs do not allow me to leave the doorsteps of Ali ibn Abi Talib. He says, I don't have the strength to leave. I will remain by this door. It is said, Imam heard the voice of Asbagh. He said, Ya Bunayya, allow Asbagh to come in. Asbagh comes in next to the Imam. He begins to cry. The Imam says to him, La tabki ya Asbagh. Do not cry, O Asbagh. فَإِنَّهَا وَاللَّهِ الْجَنَّةِ. I see Jannah in front of me, Asbagh. Do not weep over me. Asbagh says, Ya Imam, I don't doubt that you are going to Jannah, but I am saying to myself and I am crying because I can't imagine living life without you, Ya Imam. The Imam embraces Asbagh, for these would be the last moments of the Imam's life.
فسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين. إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. ماتم حسين.